One of the biggest threats to living at peace is going into the land of the what ifs. You know what I'm talking about. It's the what if this happens or what if that happens. Like, I'm a planner and a visionary, and so I live in the land of the what ifs a lot. Like, I'm in the future often, thinking about what could happen and what if this turns out that way. And it can be a good thing to look ahead, but there's also a dark side to that, isn't there? There can be a lot of negative cycles we can get into as we live in this land of the what ifs. And the challenge that we're all facing right now is there's so many unknowns. It's hard to see what could happen. And so there's so many what ifs that we're regularly living with. And I was just reading through Proverbs today, and I was floored by this verse in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 13, that I think says something about living in the land of the what ifs, living with, all these hypotheticals in our minds. This is what Proverbs 22:13 tells us. The sluggard says, "There's a lion outside. I shall be killed in the streets." So a sluggard is a lazy person. And what's happening in this verse is he's not being lazy in what he's doing. He's being lazy in how he is thinking. He's saying there's a lion outside, and so he's going to stay inside. He's not going to go outside because he's fearful of this thing that he thinks is out there. But what does this verse tell us that the sluggard did to actually see if there was a lion? Nothing. He doesn't know if there actually is a lion. He didn't go to the window and see a lion for himself. No, he's living in the land of the what ifs. This is a hypothetical situation. There's a hypothetical lion that exists, and because there might be a lion outside, the sluggard is too lazy to go look for himself, and so he just stays in the lazy thought pattern of, oh no, what if? And living in this hypothetical leaves him to staying inside and in fear. Listen, friends, God can't protect us from hypotheticals because hypotheticals don't actually exist. God is the God of reality, the things that are, the things that are real. The hypotheticals that we can think about, they're not real, like they don't exist. They might come into existence someday, and if they do, God will be with us then, if and when they do. But when they're just in our minds, God can't protect us from the what ifs that we create in our own thought processes. And so when we're going down the path to the land of the what ifs, we're going down that path alone, and so no wonder it's a scary thing. Listen, friends, God doesn't want us to live based upon what if, the line that could be there. He wants us to live based upon what we actually see in the streets, the real, raw, true data. Jesus said, let the troubles for today be enough for today in Matthew chapter 6. Like, don't start worrying about what if and what could be tomorrow. Like, just deal with what's in front of you today. And as you do, guess what? God's in the day. God's here to take care of you today. God's promise that His grace is sufficient for you in the day. And so leave the what ifs of tomorrow in tomorrow. Leave the hypotheticals as hypotheticals. Don't go down those paths. Stay in the moment. Let your mind be where your body actually is, present in the moment. God will be with you in the moment. God will get you through moment by moment. And so stay away from the land of the what ifs. Don't think about the scary things that could be. Live with the God who is. Be in the moment, and God will get you through each and every moment. May God protect you from going to the land of the what ifs and stay in the land of the what is. God's promises in His Word to be with you, to love you, to protect you, not from hypotheticals, but from things that actually are.